Welcome back to another episode of Cobra Kai Companion, and I am Peter. And you guys, we finally got them. One of the most requested interviews. We got the Lewis brothers, aka the Ginger Twins, Chris and Shane. How you guys doing?
Great. Good. How are you?
I am doing good. A lot of questions, right? You guys been around. Apologies for that. You guys been around since season two. So you guys have been around for like the legacy characters. You guys been around for like actors that have come and gone. So we'll kind of go through those. But let's learn a little bit more about you guys. I didn't do extensive research, but I definitely, kind of went through you guys' social media accounts and tried just goggling you guys' names and see what I can find. But are you guys, I don't know if I read this correctly. Are you guys originally from Los Angeles?
No,
No,
we're from Atlanta.
yeah, we're from Atlanta.
Yeah,
I don't know
so
where you
there's
got that.
there's a website that says "Hail from Los Angeles." I go, is really? I didn't know that. See, so people are just making things up about you guys out there.
Guess that's cool. I mean, love to
So
be
so
from Los
as
Angeles.
So, Atlanta proper or like any other cities around Georgia? You guys always been around Atlanta?
I mean, we've always been around Atlanta. Just
Yeah, my was it is it Marietta?
yeah.
Marietta, Georgia.
Mhm.
My mom, she spent a little bit of time there, and I went to basic training at Fort Benning, Georgia. So,
Okay, cool.
yeah, that was the first time I experienced humidity like that, and it
Uh,
was July. It was like July, so hot. And I stepped out the plane and I was just like, oh my God, what is that? Like I'm
oh,
immediately sweating.
all sticky and stuff. I
Yeah.
get it.
You can't get
Yeah,
away from
yeah.
it either, even in the shade.
Mm-mm.
Oh yeah, yeah. I learned that immediately. But Shane, your earliest credit goes back about 8 years. Chris, I didn't look to see what was one of your earlier credits, but you guys are still relatively young. At what point did you guys decide that you guys would get into some acting? Because Shane, I know you've done some plays as well, like Mary
Mhm.
Poppins.
Yeah,
Like
that's
that.
that's where I started.
That's
Yeah.
one of my favorite musicals, Disney musicals. Like I also love the what is it? The one with Tom Hanks. That movie. What is it called? I forgot what it's called, but it's like the making of the movie, right? They
Mhm.
had Tom Hanks playing Walt Disney, Saving Mr. Banks. I think that's
Oh
what
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
called.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I love that too. So I love those movies. So I'm very fascinated about that. So maybe we can talk about that. But Shane, you were just always into kind of acting and performing.
Yeah, I always kind of like when I was really young, I liked being the center of attention, but then it kind of went from being that I started doing theater and stuff, and I just kind of liked the performance of it, and then I really liked film. I got into doing extras jobs and stuff, and I really liked the whole process. I thought was really interesting. And then in eighth grade, I got my first line in a movie, and that felt surreal. I worked for Ron Howard on Hillbilly Elegy, and that felt really cool. So yeah, that's kind of where I started, with just plays.
That's awesome. Yeah, and obviously you probably know Ron Howard was on Happy Days with Pat Morita. So that's really cool. It's a nice connection there. So is it just you two in the family? You guys are the only siblings in the family?
We have an older brother, but
Mhm.
he's more of behind the camera kind of
Yeah.
thing. We're
Okay,
more in front of it.
so Shane was the one who wanted the center of attention. Chris, what were you like growing up?
Honestly, I mean, I kind of saw what he was doing, and I was thought it was kind of cool. And so, like about a year or two after he was getting into it and stuff, I decided to also get into it, and then just kind of started getting some smaller roles here and there, some background like name characters and stuff, and I mean, had some short films I was doing.
Mhm.
So
You actually did one with Jeff Kaplan.
yeah, I did a few, and we did one together with him as
Yeah.
well.
Right.
So
Lewis, right? Or wait, was he? He wasn't part of Lewis, was he?
No,
I don't
that
know.
was way back. That
Yeah,
yeah.
that
Yeah,
was
that was before Cobra Kai.
uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
So trying to think, what was it called? The
Um,
PP Guru or something like
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny. We did that one, and then I did one called Squirt with him, where he actually we went to Atlanta Film Festival, and he actually won like best actor, out of the whole show. So it was really cool.
Yeah. You
Was
got a lot
that
of good credit.
Well, yeah. Actually, I think I did see like a lot of like different, whether it was nominations or wins for that
Mhm.
particular film. Was that one of like his projects where he has like what is it, 48 hours to come up with the
Yeah.
film or something?
So
Oh, that's
he's up.
awesome.
He's up, and then he's writing stuff out with the crew, and then I come in. We do our thing. Film it the whole day, and we get essentially 2 days to have the idea written down based off of what they give you, film it, edit it, have it uploaded, and then just hope it goes for best.
Yeah, that's wild, and kudos to him too. I mean, 48 hours.
Mhm.
I don't do any of that stuff, but I can only imagine the pressure and the stress that people go through just to
Mhm.
kind of make the deadline. So do you know like if it's not complete, you just can't submit a project?
You can submit it.
Yeah,
It's just
you
it's not
probably
gonna.
won't get very good
Yeah,
reviews from
it's not
it.
gonna be that good. But I mean, from what I've seen, I've done it like a few times, and every single time, mostly everybody's got it in time. Whether it's super good or not, I mean, that's up to you to decide. But
Yeah.
they get it in.
Shane, I've also seen a picture of you playing baseball.
Yes, yes,
Now,
I did.
you guys both do sports or?
We did.
Mhm.
When I was in high school, I played soccer and ran cross country, and I played baseball and football. We both kind of did
Yeah, we've done. I
about
kind
the
of
same thing.
followed suit with him.
Yeah, and then
eh,
I'm in college, so I just no
Yeah.
sports to play now.
Yeah. Weren't you in one of Matt Lewis's class?
I was, yeah, freshman year in his theater class.
Can you talk a little bit about like the kind of the first day? Because I don't think did he know that you were enrolled, or did you guys find out when you first attended class?
So I got freshman year of college, like when COVID kind of hit. That was my senior year, is like that same year. So it was all online, but I enrolled in this class. I saw he was teaching there, and I was like, that's really cool. We have something in common. And the minute I enrolled, I got an email back. He's like, "Hey man, I'm glad to have you in my class. Let's hope we have a good year and stuff." And I talked to him back and forth, um, just about like the work we're going over and just like what we're filming and stuff. And it was really cool.
Yeah, yeah, it's just a small world too, so
I know, right?
yeah, so that's really awesome. Shane, well, you guys were both kind of in Stranger Things. We'll get there, but Shane, you were in Halloween Kills.
Yes,
Yeah, I want
yes,
to
I
get the
was.
title right because I know it's a trilogy.
Mhm.
Can you talk about that experience and how you got that role?
Well, that was really cool. I remember going, I think it was a self-tape first, and then they liked it and they said, if you can come to North Carolina, we're doing in-person auditions. And I remember walking into the building and just hearing this sounded like a young girl, and she was just laying in to somebody and just calling them all kind of names, just being as rude as possible. And she ended up being my co-star for that day, because that was the role that we were auditioning for. Is that the directions were to just walk in and just make us feel as bad as possible as you can, because we're supposed to be bullies. So yeah, that
Right.
was really cool. That was in North Carolina.
I thought that was interesting that you were playing a bully coming from Miyagi-Do. So
Yeah,
so yeah, if anyone hasn't seen that, check out that film there. It was a little shocking for me because you got an F-bomb too, right?
I did. Yes, yes, and that was
And that
very
was
shocking for
scripted.
my mom. Yeah, that was scripted. Yeah.
So did you guys not know that going in, or I mean, I would imagine you probably got to read the lines after you got the role.
I did, yeah, but like it's kind of when sometimes in the audition, if I see something like that, and I'm like, oh, you might want to step out away from this, just so she doesn't have to feel bad about it.
So is that something you guys kind of I don't know, look out for? I guess when it comes to projects, the language or anything like that, like content, is that a concern of you guys'?
Mm-mm.
No,
I'm cool with anything,
definitely
really.
not.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, you were in Halloween Kills. I mean, it's pretty violent.
yeah.
Chris, you mentioned a couple of the projects you worked on. How were you able to collaborate? Did Jeff just put something out, or did he reach out to you personally?
So he reached out before. It was a previous another 48-hour film festival, and I was just he needed people there, and he reached out to me from Cobra Kai. Basically, he knew I was in. He's like, "You want to do work on mine?" So it's just kind of background stuff. I had a little scene where I'm like pretending to be a YouTube guy at the very beginning, and then after that, he was like, "That's really you did a great job on that. I'll definitely have you back." And then another 40-hour film festival comes up. He's like, hey, I got you a role. He had another one. He's like, I wrote you something. Got another one, and then he wrote me and Shane something. And then it was a lot of fun, and it was kind of crazy, like you said, small world to kind of have like the show, and then the people from the show like reaching out and doing stuff past the show. It was just kind of very cool.
Yeah, it is. And the acting community, it's is small enough that you guys to be connected through Cobra Kai is probably kind of convenient. It's like, well, we know each other and kind of know each other's strengths and things like that. So yeah, so that's nice of him to reach out. I like Jeff. He was actually just in town, well, back in April, and we were able to link up locally, and we just did an Instagram live, for fun. So I got to meet my guy for the second time in person because I met him down in Atlanta too. Now, when you guys, how did you guys end up on Cobra Kai? Was it I would imagine it's a casting call, or did you guys have an agent that reached out to you guys and said, "Hey, I was able to, find something for you guys"?
I think it was an open casting call for anyone with martial arts and dance experience, and we didn't know it was Cobra Kai at the time.
Yeah,
We
it
were
was
just like, we'll show up because we've done plays and theater and stuff. We've danced, so yeah, we just kind of showed up, and then we were at the Cobra Kai dojo.
Yeah, just we're all of a sudden wearing gis and doing karate and stuff, which is kind of something we never really done before. We had some athletic experience, so it wasn't that hard to pick up.
Yeah.
Just out of nowhere,
So, was it more of an auditioning process, or you guys kind of showed up and they kind of looked at you like this works? Is that how you guys were selected?
Hmm.
Yeah, essentially. I mean, we showed up and they're like, okay, we have our group. We people here know what they're doing. We picked because they didn't just pick random people too. Like they picked people who's been doing stuff for a bit.
Hmm.
So we came in and I mean, we obviously impressed them enough to give us our own little thing just from the get go almost. So
Yeah, I mean, I like the idea of like, brothers, and you guys have like a particular look that would stand out on film as well. So I think that just kind of makes sense. After you guys got the roles on Cobra Kai, what was it like, kind of like the early stages of filming season two, being new guys?
For me, it was really fun. It didn't feel Cobra Kai is a cool set because it doesn't feel like you're working. It feels like a bunch of friends are making like a project that they just everyone cares about. I don't know how to describe it. It's just a lot of camaraderie,
It's like
I would
family.
yeah,
say. Yeah.
just like a family. I mean, you go to some sets and you're told to go sit in a chair and wait till we call you to set. And other times, especially with this one, it's like you show up and everybody's having a good time. You forget you're actually supposed to be working
Yeah.
and stuff, and that's great because then
It's
you go. It works with the show. I think.
it's hard to be a stranger on that set.
Yeah, everyone seems to know each other.
Hmm.
Now, has being on the show inspired you guys to possibly get into martial arts? I don't know if you guys currently do anything.
I've thought about like maybe some boxing,
Hmm.
some sort of fighting because it is kind of badass. I mean, you gotta admit, just fighting people in general. So
I've thought about the karate, the people, smaller people can do. He can probably do the boxing. I don't know if I were to try and box him, if I would fare too well. So maybe try and learn some like martial arts for me, or some kind of something with joints. Maybe I could tie him up like a pretzel or something.
Yeah, I think isn't there like a featherweight division or,
Yeah.
or something? Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I mean, you might be able.
maybe something.
Yeah. Well, what's some of your earliest memories from season two? I believe the both of you are in the cement truck scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
Yes.
I remember post doing that scene, we're all covered in the cement and stuff with like just wet, gray. I don't even know what it was. It was just
Yeah.
like gray stuff all over
I think
us.
it was clay. So
Yeah,
yeah, afterwards we had people like rubbing it on their skin for face masks and stuff because it's really good for your skin,
but
apparently.
but finishing the scene and stuff, and then they're like, all right, well, we gotta get rid of the clay off you and stuff. So they sent us over to the side, and
I
we're just hosing people down in the line.
think it was a full fire hose too.
Yeah, and so they're just sitting there, just like hosing people down, getting as much as they could off, and that. I mean, I thought it was pretty funny, but
You mentioned people saying like, rubbing it on their faces. I believe like the mix was actually some sort of, I don't think it was like clear cell, but like something like that. I believe it was
Hmm.
actually for your face. So yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
Yeah.
to act as the component to look like clay. So yeah, I love hearing like the kind of like the movie magic behind certain things like AJ talked about the head dunking scene, the swirly, right? It's called swirly or something in season 5. So we'll get there. Um, let's talk about the big breakup between the two, because like for those that follow you guys on social media, we know you guys are real life brothers, and I think the assumption for the longest time were that you guys were brothers. But in season 2, episode 5, Daniel walks in, they have that confrontation, him and Johnny, and a bunch of students leave. Shane, your character, Little Red, he decides to go with Miyagi-Do. Can you talk about if there was any discussion why your character is leaving, if everyone kind of like thought you guys were brothers?
Well, to be honest, there wasn't any discussion. I was just kind of told, hey, whenever he comes in, you're going with him. So
And
yeah.
then we kind of you know, like did something with it almost,
Mhm.
where yeah, I'm like, oh, don't leave, and he just looks at me and walks away.
Yeah.
He doesn't care. And
Some
then
big sad puppy dog eyes.
yeah, and then
Don't you like put your hand in your face or
Yeah.
something like
yeah,
that? Yeah. So
and
I mean, so that was telling, but we never got like actual confirmation. So everyone in the fandom, you guys probably saw it too, just kind of wondering, what's home life like if they're brothers? And so we just never really got an answer for the longest time. So after like season 2 comes out, and everybody got to see you guys as new characters, what do you guys kind of remember within the fandom? Because again, you guys really stick out on the show, and there's so much fan art of you guys out there.
I remember a lot of in-person fandom, specifically a lot of people at my school trying to ask me like what's going on or what's going to happen with the two of us, and I'm just trying to tell them I have no idea. I don't know what's going to happen.
yeah, you can't really, not only do we not really know, but you can't really talk about stuff you're doing as well when you're filming it. So it's just kind of like, I don't know, just watch it when it comes out, I guess.
Yeah, so I kind of forget that sometimes, that like some of you guys are still in school. So you guys were actively going to school, and
Mhm.
people would just kind of like try to pick you guys' brains here and there.
hmm
Yeah, even the teachers.
Mostly teachers, I would say.
Yeah.
I mean that.
Yeah, well, because a lot of the teachers, I would imagine they're probably maybe around my age and grew up on those movies too, maybe a little bit older, but they kind of remember that fondly, right? So yeah, they're probably really big fans. Um, yeah, I guess season 2 comes out, and I forgot kind of how it ends, right? Like Miguel gets kicked off the second floor, and so was that a lot of your guys' questions? Like, what happened to Miguel? Is he dead? Is he, is he? Um, I think that was the biggest
No,
Mhm.
biggest question was, is he dead? But I'm like, he's the lead kid.
Yeah, I remember people coming up to me. They watched the first few episodes and they're obviously asking like, "Oh, this is really cool. I saw you there." And then they finish the show and they come up and they're like, "Oh my God, what's going on?"
It was pretty wild. Let me see, were either of you guys in the mall fight scene?
I don't think so.
I don't think we were. No.
Mm-mm.
Okay, and what about the school fight?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was there. Yeah,
No, you were only there, right? Like, because I feel like you guys don't have any fighting sequences or very much of it, not until season 5.
yeah. We're just kind of just supportive of
Mhm.
our teams respectively.
We did have a little fight scene though, right?
I think so.
We
Yeah,
had a fight where I like the camera goes past and then like I push him against the locker and I think he like kicked me in the nuts or something. I don't know.
something
then,
cheap. Yeah,
and then didn't really get carried over into the final cut, but I mean
yeah.
it was still cool. It's kind of way back then in that fight
Okay,
scene.
is that something like we might know out there? Is there any kind of like pictures or no, nothing,
I
not
don't
no
think
footage?
so. I think that
No,
was going to be like a little transitional
yeah.
shot that just didn't make it.
Oh, funny. So you guys actually were part of the fight fighting each other that didn't make the final cut. So that's fun. In season 3, we saw Chris, you mentioned you played soccer. Were you part of the soccer fight as well?
Yeah, it was.
Okay, because I do remember Shane sitting there with like Mary and Gianni. So it's I don't remember the last time I saw that episode, but can you guys talk about filming that day, the soccer field?
Well, I was really excited because I had just, I think I, that yeah, I had just, that was like my second year playing soccer for my high school, or my first year for my high school because I played in eighth grade. So I was really excited because I was thought I was gonna walk out on the field and be like, Yeah, man. I actually play soccer, but then I look out and all the other actors just know what they're doing, and it
Yeah,
seems like they play soccer too.
and it was. I mean, it was fun. Because they just gave us a soccer ball and just told us to go start, go play around. Don't roughhouse too much unless we tell you what to do, but just
Yeah.
go try and score and stuff. Let's get some passing, some dribbling going on and stuff. So I mean, it was just they let us loose essentially.
Yeah, Chris, you kind of walk onto the field with Jacob and AJ, right? Something like
Hmm.
that. A few other people, maybe John who plays Rickenberger, right?
Yeah.
Oof. It's been a while. I haven't said that name in a while. Um, I feel like I kind of misremember, but has he done soccer? Because I know like Hawk like does a few moves out there. He looks pretty natural.
Yeah,
Uh,
Jacob, I'm pretty sure he plays
yeah. And
soccer.
if he doesn't, I mean, he's natural somehow because he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, everybody hears how Jacob and Tanner are very competitive against each other. They're always kind of going at it with each other. Did you guys have anything like that between the two of you when it comes to like being on Cobra Kai and separate dojos? You guys ever kind of have like that silvering rivalry thing?
I think whenever we're in a scene together, it's who can like look more pissed off at the other one,
Yeah.
or just who can stare the other one down better.
Hmm.
Was there anything like that at the park when Kreese shows up with the Cobra Kai?
Um, were
It's
you
kind
there
of
for that?
I'm not
I
sure.
think that was the Eagle thing.
Yeah, I don't think I
right,
was there.
but oh, that's right, because you stayed Miyagi-Do.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
my
yeah.
bad, my bad.
Oh,
Yeah, you're good.
Because season 4 and 5, we got Miyagi Fang, right? So,
Mhm.
my mistake. But Chris, you were there. What
Yeah.
do you kind of remember filming that day when Cobra Kai shows up at the park?
Um, I remember seeing Aiden's like shirt that was way too small for him. I mean, but it was funny because it was done on purpose and stuff. And just the face off, I mean, it's cool. I think any scene like that's cool where you kind of just stand there and look menacing the whole time. So,
Yeah, right. Shane, I just remembered that you were also part of the freezer scene for
Mm,
Miyagi-Do. Yeah.
yeah.
What do you remember from that day?
Oh, it was we had to act really cold, but it was hot as hell in
Oh,
that freezer. Yeah, it was. So it's really funny seeing in between every take, people just start laughing because you see everyone just and then everyone's sweating, they're trying to wipe their brow so they're not sweating in a freezer.
Was that a set? Did they build that freezer?
Yeah, that was on the sound stage. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Wondering why it was hot and no AC or something, but I'm sure there's a lot of different
I mean,
stages.
it's just a hard place to keep like cold because it's so big.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm trying to remember if there's anything else from season 2 before I go into season 4. Season 3 we had the laser tag scene, right? Chris, were you part of that? Right?
yes, I was.
Yeah. Can you talk about that day? Shane, were you there? Yeah, I kind of
I don't think I was there
I
for
don't think
laser
you
tag.
were.
you
No.
don't show up for that. Okay.
I mean, I thought it was really cool because again, it's another scene where I get to walk in and look mean, and but then breaking I think it was Dimitri's leg,
Arm.
uh, arm. That's what it was. That
Yeah.
I mean, that was like kind of something you haven't really seen. You know what I mean? Like seeing that film too. It was like and hearing him scream is like, okay, this guy can act like he broke his arm. So it was kind of. I mean, it was really cool. Don't get me wrong, just a little traumatizing. But
Sure. Did Gianni have to scream during filming, or was that added in later on?
he was screaming during film. He
Okay.
definitely.
I remember speaking with AJ, and he mentioned how you guys were told just to um, say stuff, to kind of encourage Hawk to go ahead and do it. Do you kind of remember saying anything at all during that scene?
I remember saying stuff. I don't remember saying anything particular though. I just remember kind of like they're like, just say, just be supportive of your friend breaking this guy's arm, and we're
Yeah,
like, all
yeah.
right.
I'm trying to think if like any of you guys have ever said like no mercy during stuff like that. I mean, I know Tori gets it and stuff like that, but just like when the background guys have moments, do any of you guys think to say no mercy? Actually, here's one from season 2. What do you guys remember about the Shane? I'm not sure if you were there, but the party scene at Moon's house.
I was there. I think
You
so.
were
Yeah,
there?
Yeah.
we both were.
Mhm.
Yeah. I
That
know
was
Owen
just
was pouring drinks.
yeah. That was just a real party essentially, and they just like rolled cameras, or at least it felt like that.
Did any of you guys want to get into that dance battle?
Yeah.
You
I
guys
mean, I
dance
don't think
too,
it's.
right?
Yeah.
I don't think any debate who won that.
Yeah.
I think we all know AJ won that.
Oh, really? Okay. Well,
What?
I was gonna say Nate.
Yeah, I think Nate won that actually.
Really?
Yeah, that's where I'm gonna have to disagree with you.
All right.
Oh, see,
Well,
I guess it's gonna be another awkward dinner tonight for you guys. Sounds
Yeah,
like.
even in real life, it's a struggle.
Yeah, it sounds like it. You actually looked pretty genuinely surprised. Like, hold on, I thought Nate killed it. Season three. Now, let me try to think. We talked about the laser tag, and were you guys there at the LaRusso house fight?
I think
I don't think.
yeah, I don't think I was
I
there.
don't think. I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah, that looked pretty chaotic, and
Mhm.
as I understand it, that was originally supposed to take place at Miyagi-Do, but due to the weather, they moved it inside. Do you guys remember like kind of any stories you want to share about seasons two and three before we get into four?
You got anything?
I remember coming back with a haircut and some people being very shocked because season two my hair is very down here and very shaggy, and then season three I come back and it's kind of like I don't even know what kind of haircut it was, but I tried to make it look really cool. I don't know if it did. I hope it did. But yeah, some people are kind of shocked by that.
Were they expecting for it to be the same length or something? Or-
Yeah, because it's just you work with someone for so long, and you just kind of that's how they look, and then they come back and it's kind of like a shock. It's like, oh my god, you're a different person, you know?
Did you guys like kind of through the seasons like two and three and before four, I guess. Did you guys see Griffin very much at all when he was still like little?
I don't think I saw him very much. I think I saw him a little bit because I was at Miyagi. Did you see him?
I mean, every now and then. I
Yeah,
don't think we
Yeah.
filmed anything with them. So.
yeah. I would see him
So
on set, but not like with us.
yeah, because in season three he does show up in the back with Amanda, right? Like Anthony and Amanda come to the back briefly, and I think he's like snacking on something right after like a soccer practice is what it looked like. But what was it like to see him when he came back to film season four? Because that's when we were like, oh my God, is that the same actor? Everyone was shocked how
Yeah,
big he got.
I mean, that's the same reactions I think everybody had.
yeah.
We're all surprised that he's grown up.
Everyone just wished they hit puberty like he did. You know.
Yeah, because that the season three was filmed September through December of 2019, so before the pandemic. And so you guys didn't see him until basically January, February of 2021. Yeah, so yeah, that was a really long time.
A
Did
while.
anybody else? What was that?
So it was a while.
It really was. Was there anybody else that you guys could think of that kind of changed dramatically like him?
Nate is tall, and it makes me feel bad about myself because he came back and we were kind of like, I think he's also a year younger than me. He used to be a little bit shorter than me when I was like five, and now I'm only 5'7", and he's like bigger than me, and I'm like, wow, I can only be jealous.
There's nothing wrong with being 5'7". I might be 5'7". Now we're no, I know Shane, you were Chris as a member of a Cobra. Did you guys get to be like anywhere near filming like other sequences? Like, because I want to ask Shane about uh being present for the Sensei versus Sensei fight in season
Mm,
four.
yes.
What's the question?
If you guys get to kind of watch like behind the scenes while that's
Oh,
going on.
oh yeah. We're always like kind of there, just peeking in a little bit, and like in between filming, they'll do okay. We'll do this scene. You guys go watch, just watch
Yeah.
them fight and stuff, and it's just I think it's really cool.
Especially if
You know.
if we're wrapped in, they're still filming something. We'll just slowly leave the parking lot as slow as we can, so we don't
Just check
like
it
miss
out.
anything. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be kind of fun. Like I was talking to Gianni recently, and he mentioned that he was present for something that filmed at the prison where Kreese was, and I mentioned how funny it would be if we just randomly saw like Dimitri in the background for no reason at all, you know, because I just found out like last week that Tanner was an extra in one of the scenes where it was just Sholo and like the kid. Like I think
Really?
yeah, so like I think Miguel is talking to the kid he just saved, and way behind is Tanner wearing that cowboy hat, but with his back to the camera. So it's one of those like really deep cuts in terms of Easter eggs. Like if you knew what
Yeah.
Tanner was wearing, yeah, so it's kind of fun. But anyway, maybe you guys can do something like that in a future season. Just kind of randomly be at the wrong dojo for no reason.
But
Um,
I'll mention that's one of the reasons why that's such a fun set is because the actors just do stuff like that all the time. Even the crew, they're always trying to sneak something in. They're just trying to have fun. They don't want it to ever feel like it's just work, you know?
right.
Yeah.
Is there something that you guys might be able to share? Something kind of like that? Maybe not necessarily somebody inserting themselves into a scene, but some fun stuff that was kind of added, like on the fly. Some improv from for you guys or anything like that during filming.
I'd say I think some of the reactions you see during fight scenes are real because sometimes it's very scary and they get really close. So some of that is really fun to see people's like actual natural reaction, especially if they're not around when like they're rehearsing it, and then they just come on to set and they see these like flying kicks, and that's probably one of my favorite parts.
Have you got what? Since you guys haven't done a whole lot of fighting on the show, is there anything that you guys find particularly challenging being on the show?
Not really. I mean, they have, for Cobra Kai, I know we have us doing, like training and stuff. And we're doing high kicks, and it took me like a little bit to kind of, be able to do that consistently because you got to do a lot of takes. Like, okay, we're gonna do 20 high kicks in a row, and that takes like 2 hours. And then you're like, okay, now I gotta, you want to stretch and
Yeah, you
take care of yourself.
definitely you got to stretch, especially at Miyagi-Do when we're doing like kata and stuff. I felt really stiff and I felt like I was out of shape because I see everyone and they're just loose and they're like Twizzlers. I don't know. It's really weird.
Okay.
But they spend a lot of time in the trailers, right? Like
Yeah,
having to do all these things.
they spend a lot of time on that, and then they bring us in and they're like, do what they're doing. We're like, well,
It's like we've been sitting down for 2
yeah,
hours.
we'll do our best.
Right. It's like sports, right? Like if you've been sitting on the bench, you're cold. Like you want to be warm,
Exactly. Yeah.
especially
So
pitching
yeah,
or something like that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so every 30 minutes you probably want to take a walk to Crafty in case they have you, touching your toes or something.
Mhm.
What is because since you guys don't have lines, do you guys get scripts at all? Do you guys get anything to kind of help you prepare for the day?
We get a PA with a script, and he explains it thoroughly to all of us, kind of telling us what our mood should be, what goes on, and then even if there's a problem, even some of the actors will just kind of tell us like what's going on. We'll just talk about it.
Sometimes some of the stand-ins have sides.
Yeah,
So like Craig, he would have sides, and I'm like, let me take a peek at that so I can see what's going on for the day. And then that's where I get it from.
Can you guys think of any moment when like you guys filmed something and you didn't really know how it was going to turn out, but then see it when it came out and like, oh, so that was what was going on.
I'd say in season 2 the school scene because it's just so hectic. And there's
Definitely.
just so much going. There's so many like all the extra. It's kind of having a crowd in a scene is kind of authentic because you don't know how it's gonna move and how that whole where they're all gonna go.
And seeing how they made like him, the whole filming of him breaking his back and stuff,
Yeah,
and
I
hitting
think
this.
did he break actual ribs doing that stunt?
I don't think. I don't think so.
I heard
No, I think he got kicked into like a railing and like chipped his tooth.
Oh,
And then but if you like were there watching them, they had a guy hooked up to a crane with like a harness around him, and when they dropped him, you can't really put a mat on the railing. So you're watching it, and all of a sudden, like, all right, action, and you hear like thud, and he hits the railing like for real. It's pulled back a little bit, but I mean, he like
it's
it
again.
sounds like you hurt him.
It's one of those moments where the reactions are just natural because it's so brutal.
You didn't expect it.
Yeah, and I hope he actually did. Well, I don't hope he broke his ribs. I feel like someone was lying to me because I heard that he broke his ribs.
He didn't break his ribs.
They lied to 13-year-old me.
Yeah. I can see people playing pranks on each other, right? Like, oh, did you guys hear Gianni really broke his arm in that scene? Yeah, Jacob was just, too rough. Um, I feel like I was going to bring up something about season 3. I just kind of forgot it. Oh, the Lego scene. I believe Chris, you were there. Shane, were you there too for
Hmm.
the Lego where Hawk ruins or
The
kicks a soccer
lunches.
ball? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Yeah.
What do you guys remember about that scene that day or that week?
Um, I mean, I thought it was kind of waste some good Legos. You know what I mean? It must have taken a long time to put that together just to destroy it with a soccer ball. But I think
He really likes Legos.
it took. I think it was like 2 or 3 takes. So I mean, it wasn't anything crazy, but you know, I thought it was kind of cool. Just to see that part of it too. You know, where you could see like I don't know how to say it. It's like stuff that like takes a long time to put together, just from the like just like that, just destroy
And
it for the scene.
it makes you so appreciative of the crew and all they do. Because I know we're having fun, and then some days they got to be pulling their hair out,
Yeah,
just trying
exactly.
Oh,
to make
sure.
everything run.
Mhm.
And there was a few different ones made, right? Just in case they had to
Yes.
do like different takes.
Mhm.
Yeah, a lot of
Uh,
Legos there. I wonder who spent all the time to get it made. Uh,
I would
so
have
kind
known.
of, I wonder like if Jacob felt bad at all. But
It
for
looked
being,
like
fr
it
you think
looked like
so?
it was having fun destroying it. Yeah.
Since everybody does seem like family, you guys are all friends. We see all the behind the scene photos of everyone just having a good time and smiling. Was there a moment during anything that you guys filmed where you've kind of felt bad that you guys are on opposite ends with whoever it is and whatever the scene is going on? Like Chris, I definitely want to kind of ask about what was the reception like after people seeing you in season two being one of the guys that defaces Miyagi-Do, spray paint and
Uh,
TP.
I I got you know people who thought that scene was cool, and you know one they a lot of people support Johnny, you know, and support Cobra Kai. You know, it's a show, and so you know it's nice to like be have the bad guy as your favorite, and so I'm supporting the bad guy doing that. It's like, yeah, you know, stick it to Miyagi-Do and stuff. I mean, come
Yeah,
on.
I don't usually feel bad because it's usually happening to me and my crew. And I will say, one time I got genuinely scared because at the water park and the whole shoving, they were rehearsing the whole shoving thing, and I just not paying attention. I start hearing shoving and screaming, and it's between like I think Aiden and Robbie, and I was like, oh my god, did they get into a confrontation? And then they said it's so real, and there's just so many people like moving, and then they say cut out on the rehearsal, and they just stop and they just like hug it out. And I thought they were about to get into an actual fight, but they're just those guys are pretty good at acting.
You said Aiden.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
You see, I'm trying to think. Oh, was this when there was a crowd of people shoving each other? Because
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
trying to remember. Yeah, and like Owen was there and everything, and Devin, like that sequence.
yeah,
Okay, all right. I was gonna say, I was like, wait, did I miss one? Because I thought maybe it was just like Mitch versus Robbie or something. But
yeah.
you're talking about something. Okay. It's season four. What happened there? Um, Shane, I don't think you were on the rooftop, were you?
No, I wasn't.
You weren't part of the rooftop. Okay, so what else was going on? Um, so we got the introduction of Cherry Silver. Chris, can you talk about seeing different senseis over the time you've been with Cobra Kai? You've seen you started off with Kreese. Yeah, Kreese
Kind
becomes
of.
sensei. Yeah, so
Yeah.
Kreese, Silver, and then Sensei Kim.
I think it's well, I mean, like you seeing Silver, you know, seeing this humongous man walk in, somebody from like, you know, the movies and stuff, like a long time for me. You know what I mean? Like seeing it, like it's almost like a historical moment to see him come back, and then seeing like Sensei Kim, you know, and them attaching her to the story as well. And then it's like, I don't know, it's just, it's very cool to be a part of all of that, and to kind of say like, you know, I was there, like, because you give it another 10, 20 years when they reboot it again, possibly, you know, and you have, they'll say like, yeah, this guy, you know, he came back from the original, and this person is attached to this, and it's like I was there for all these things, you know.
And he's really good at being scary, right, Terry? Like he's
Yeah,
such a nice dude, but then he gets in his game
get in the
face, and it's
zone. Yeah.
just it's terrifying.
Yeah, I was just rewatching the episode where they fight in Stingray's apartment. Like I was just rewatching that episode last night, and he's so good at being bad. He is Scary Terry. Um, Let me see. Yeah, because Chris, well, every sensei you've gone through, the dojos have also changed as well, right? Like you guys got new equipments for season 4, and then in season 5, they build a whole new location, the flagship. Um, let me see, Shane. I'm trying to think of some questions for you. Do you remember anything else from season 4 you want to share? Well, let's talk about the All Valley tournament. What do you kind of remember from the filming and also behind the scenes? Because we know you guys spent a lot of time just kind of waiting, for filming stuff. That must have taken a long time for 2 episodes.
That was I think it was almost 2 weeks just going back to that place and just watching. They had to film smaller fight scenes, and then they had to film like the crowds and stuff, and like the announcer coming out, and then like watching you know the main cast like go up there and actually fight. Like that wasn't like, okay, we'll cut it every 2 seconds and make it look like a punch. Like they like choreographed a whole 2 or 3 minute long like just fight scene, and it was like that's it's crazy, because you look at them, you don't think they could do that, and then they're out there, and then you have like the show where they're showing off their abilities and stuff, and I thought it was crazy. It was 2 weeks worth well spent, just kind of because it's like it makes you appreciate kind of like what you're doing there, and like getting like this entire finale scene and like what kind of some of this show has been building up to, just like being filmed finally, I think it was I think it was awesome,
Yeah. What were you guys' reactions when you guys saw the introduction of Carrie Underwood?
So this wasn't in the show. You might have heard about this. I don't know, but so we had a awesome PA, great guy. His name's Chris Short, and he's been working on the show for a while now. And he walked up to me. He's like, "Okay, Carrie Underwood's gonna be here. The funniest thing would be if Big Red was Carrie Underwood's biggest fan." He's like, "I want you to take it to 1,000. I want you to just do like the craziest thing possible." So I was like, I could do that. So then the scene comes up, and then Carrie Underwood's like coming out there, and then I'm just like, ah, and I'm screaming like loud, like I'm jumping around, I'm picking people up, like things are falling and stuff. I'm running around like back and forth. I'm kind of honestly, I was doing a little bit too much, but I mean, I was like, okay, they want me to be wild with it, so I'm gonna go be wild with it, and I was like all over the place, like almost like I said, too much. I was picking people up. I was jumping on bleachers, and those bleachers were falling down, and it was crazy. And then we do that, and then Chris Short comes back, and he's like, "All right, that was awesome. You need to stop. You need to calm it down a little bit and like dial it down by about 9,900." So I was like, "Okay." I brought it down. I was still like screaming and like, "I love you, marry me," that kind of stuff. But I mean, that was like the most memorable moment of that entire filming, was just being able to do that, because it was kind of out of character. I've never done anything like that on the show.
Yeah, so. And I loved hearing about that. That's probably one of the funniest laughs I've had.
I wish it was in the show, or somewhere. I like I've heard you can kind of watch and see, but like I'm pretty sure they probably scrub that out of there.
It may not yeah, I do wonder if we see like anything. I'm gonna have to look for that now. Like I didn't know that. That's actually the first time I've
Really?
heard that story. Yeah. Yeah, that's so
No.
interesting. You would think that'd be one of the ones that people share too. Like, oh man, and
Mm-hmm.
Chris, he did this thing. That's awesome. But yeah, shout out to Christopher Short. He was in season 3 as the
Mm-hmm.
guy in the bathroom with Johnny, where he talks about like,
Yeah.
hey, can you take a look at this or whatever it was. Yeah. Yeah, so that's really awesome. Yeah, you guys got any like more fun stories kind of like that? Things that you guys did that didn't make the cut, because we saw a deleted scene from season 4 with you, Chris, at the zoo,
Mm-hmm.
or season 3 was it 3 or
This
4? No, no,
I
I'm
think it
sorry,
was
not the zoo, not the zoo. It's
the
the
tattoo parlor.
tattoo, the
Yeah.
tattoo shop. I don't know what I was thinking about
That
the
season,
zoo.
yeah.
Yeah,
It was season 4.
right,
Um,
right, right.
that was really fun. I met the tattoo parlor tattoo guy. I think his name's Rico.
Was
And
that the same actor from season 2 or whatever?
uh, pretty sure. Not really that sure. I just I got to meet him. We were filming it, and it was really cool. It kind of sucks they didn't leave that into another one of those things. It's like, oh, I get to film this, and then it's kind of not in it. But I mean, yeah, you get to see it, and you've seen it, so it's obviously out there somewhere, deleted scenes and stuff. But I mean, that was cool. Kind of being a part of the crew in season 4 and like helping them. I think they shaved off Hawk's hawk. So that like that's that was a quintessential moment of that season, changed the entire character, and being a part of that was just really cool.
Yeah, so basically, Big Red and Edwin and Dieter, you guys are all pretty loyal to like Cobra Kai. It doesn't matter, if you were a Cobra, I don't care. You're not Cobra anymore. So, you're not one of us. So that is interesting because I can see why they took that out because I think, at least for me, I didn't really get the sense that they snuck in, right? Like that kind of shows them like sneaking in kind of thing, I
Yeah,
think it's a little bit more badass if they just kind of walked up. And if you're questioning where is Rico, your imagination is probably better than what they could have shown us. Like,
what
did
they
they
came
beat
up
up
with.
Rico? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So, so yeah, so I see why. But I'm glad that they were able to release it, so that's there, So, Shane, were you a part of anything that was deleted?
I don't
I
think
know
so.
that
Nothing.
there was an extended sequence of Daniel, like did he kick Nate or something that from season 4 that was also something
I
that
think
was released.
when we're going up on that little platform.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. There's just little stuff like that. Yeah,
Were
but
you were
there's always
you
something going on.
were you one of those at all?
Yeah, I was. I walk up there. I think I'm one of the last people to walk up there.
With season 5, so much happened. Let's talk about that, the water park scene. I heard that uh Hawk's slide is actually faster in real life,
yeah,
and
it's
they had to cut or whatever, like how much faster was he coming down before Tori?
I think it's like a full like 4 seconds just because of
yeah.
how fast his was. Maybe it was a lot slower than that. Maybe I don't remember.
No, he was basically already down there by the time she even got inside. So they just told her to go first,
Yeah.
and then had him go afterward. I mean, that's the movie magic
Yeah,
there.
right. And it's also not necessarily built to have tubes go down the slide too, right?
No.
Yeah. So see, yeah, the magic of editing. Uh, what now? Why were some characters have? Why did some characters have shirts on and some didn't? At first I was thinking that, oh, like if you had dialogue, maybe you don't have a shirt on, because Robbie didn't have a shirt on, but Kenny does, and he has a sequence with Hawk.
Uh, I think they just had their shirts on.
Yeah, I think they just kind of chose to take them on or off.
Yeah, I mean, I had my shirt on at one point, and then you got to see all Big Red's glory with the shirt off. Another point. So, I mean that I think it was just
Yeah,
just a wardrobe choice, honestly.
I kept mine on.
Do you have a choice?
I did. I don't know.
I
if you
mean,
did.
I was feeling confident that day. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Really wasn't confident, but
You're
I
like,
was
Tanner's got nothing on me.
exactly.
He had a lot on him.
Okay. Look,
Weren't you weren't you bulking up for something? Or
I was
were?
I was just like, hey, it's because we filmed that like mid fall, I think it was November, and I was like, there's no way I'm taking my shirt off anytime soon. Let's accumulate some mass and start working out and stuff. And then, they're like, oh, we're doing a water park scene. I'm like, okay, cool, I'll keep my shirt on. And then they're like, actually, you can take your shirt off. And I'm like, well, that's just not fair, is it? I just gained like 20, 30 pounds, and I'm just sitting there, all my pacing.
I thought he looked great.
I appreciate it.
I thought it was really good.
Yeah. Because I heard that story, so that I wanted to bring it up. If you wanted to kind of share, that you were trying to put on some weight, and then you're like, wait, what? I got a shirtless scene.
But I mean,
Now,
whatever.
right, it is what it is. It's part of the job. Unfortunately, sometimes you got to do things you don't want to do. What do you guys remember about filming the big fight in episode 10 of season 5?
So I was outside the dojo, you know, so I actually I regrettably I missed like watching them fight and stuff and them doing all the, you know, I had my own fight going on outside, but his like from what I've heard and saw, it was like, you know, just a mosh pit of just people running around and, you know, beating each other up and stuff. I'm sure you can.
You know, it was really fun. Yeah, we had there was even a production assistant got to fight with us, and he was really happy when he was doing that. We were just fighting. I don't know. That was just so fun because you're just beating up your friends. I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah,
And
just slap each
like,
other around.
Yeah.
were those fights choreographed, or did you guys just kind of have to figure out like improv, like, all right, well, I'm gonna throw a punch, so you got to react, that kind of thing?
It was mostly choreographed, and it was probably really stressful for the stunt guys because they just have to run around and be like, okay, I want you to do this and do this and do this, and then you'd have to just expect the actors to be able to do it because it's like, you know, they gotta do their job. But yeah, there's like just they have to go around, and every little person they have to give them something to do so that they don't look like they're not in a karate dojo, you know.
Yeah, like just tell people to run around. You know, you could look in the background. There's people just sprinting around, you know, like not fighting anybody. Just
I think I remember my buddy Watch Party, he did a video on the season 3 fight, and there was one point he kind of zeroes in. I don't remember who the actors were, but they were like play slapping, you know, like because they were thinking that they were far enough from the camera that it wouldn't pick up, but they were clearly in the frame, like in the back, and they're just like like having fun. Some were like laying down on the ground, you know, so they could like slide out or something like that. So we hear how chaotic it can get. Uh, uh, when did you guys find out? How early did you guys find out that you guys were going to get lines in season 5?
so about I think 2 weeks before I filmed my scene, I got a phone call from my agent. And they were like, he was like, you know, our agent Barbara Garvey, East Coast Talent. She was like, you know, you want to sit down for this? It's been a long time coming, but congratulations, you just, you know, they wrote you in the script, you got lines, and I almost cried. You know, I was very emotional because it is like almost 4 years of my life um, working on this show for months at a time. So you know, it was just really cool to like I got the script, I got my name in it, I got like the credit that I've been wanting so badly, and so I, you know, I go do my scene. I have him help me. There's pictures and stuff of I think Craig took of him like essentially coaching me because you know he's pretty good at what he, you know, the acting and stuff. He's had more than me, so he's coaching me through. We go up there. I do a good job thanks to him, and then I think was it the next day?
Yeah, it was the next day. They come up to me and they're like, "We want you to talk about your mother. Say you need to be home an hour ago." And I don't know what the exact. I don't know if it was a face like, or or like it was like just shocked but happy. It was hard to believe because they just kind of said it and it was so nonchalant. It's like,
Yeah,
I'm talking. You want me to say stuff?
They just walked up and they're like, all right, we're having this whole scene where everybody's, you know, the police came, people were getting arrested, people were getting help. You're gonna give Shane a ride home, and you're gonna say this. And I was like, oh, more lines, that's cool. And then and they told me what he's gonna say. And I was like, that's crazy, you know. I mean,
and I think it's part and due to the good job he did. They probably
a little audition process, and you know, filming.
I got a little something for me.
So Shane, so you were pretty much told like last minute that like you got like, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's so cool. Like when I watched it, and I feel like a lot of us, you know, kind of felt the same way. It's like, oh hell yeah, they finally got some lines, you know, because like I know Chris, like in season 4, you had like a real good close up of you like laughing at Kenny, right? There's a sequence where like Kenny's fighting with Kyler, and there's boom right up in your face, and you're like, haha, like slow mo. I think it was too even. So it's kind of nice when you guys get highlighted, but getting a line that's really awesome.
We had that same reaction, like, hell yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's been a long time coming, you know. I mean, we've been doing it for 4 years. It's been a 4-year long audition, I would say.
It was a nice present from the creators.
Yeah, big 3.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Chris, can you share more about your scene with Paul Walter Hauser? And was that scripted for him to crawl up the stairs like that?
No. They just ran the scene, you know, a bunch of times, and he just did something random. I think he walked up the steps backwards and did like a spin or something. I mean, I don't know. He was, you know, he goes out there and he just does exactly whatever he wants.
He's hilarious.
And they're like, okay, he's like, they want you to do this, and he's like, I'm gonna do what I want to do, and I'll do what you want later. And so then he does that, and then I think about every time he says that, it usually sticks in the show anyway, like what he does. So that
Yeah. Shane, were you about to say something?
No, no.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's pretty hilarious. So Chris, did you have like any anxieties? Like this is a big moment for me. Like I'm gonna be talking to Daniel LaRusso.
Oh yeah, I mean, again, that's like almost the entire show, like me being on it, is built up to this moment, and it's like now I'm finally here, and it's like I don't know, just I had to have him help me because I was doing rehearsals and my voice was cracking and I was supposed to like saying being mean, but I can't be mean, I'm like go ahead and call him and stuff like that. So he's
I had to slap him a few times just to keep him
yeah,
straight.
just check me in, because
Get in the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, basically. It's always stressful. That's what makes it look good is if you're actually like worried about what you're doing, that means you're gonna put some effort into it. So
Right. Shane, you obviously spent more time with Ralph. Chris, did you have much interactions with him at all, being a Cobra Kai?
filming like in the dojo, Cobra Kai and stuff, not really. I was more with Johnny and Kreese and Silver and them. Um, but like sometimes, they'd come around, they'd come talk to us and stuff as a group, and they're just all very pleasant people.
Yeah, yeah. And Shane, aside from like season two with Johnny, did you have many interactions with like Billy off camera?
I can tell you this one time we were leaving, we had wrapped, and I was with my mom, and he just runs up to us and he's like, he's all bloody, and we're like, oh my God, what happened to you? And he's like, I gotta show you something. And he pulls up his phone, and he had recorded the fight where he throws the dude into the wall and katanas and stuff, and he's just showing us that, and we're like, that's amazing. He's like, isn't that great? And we're like, yeah, that's like awesome. He's like, all right, cool, I gotta go back to my trailer, and he just runs off. He was just so excited. He's one of the coolest dudes. Because you can tell you just love what he does.
Yeah, that's amazing. He just wanted to show somebody, and you guys were like right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's kind of hear your thoughts on Cobra Kai as fans of the show. I'm assuming you guys like the show. Uh,
Mhm.
what tell me some of your guys' like favorite fights from all the seasons. Maybe like two of your favorite fights.
I mean,
Well,
I think the high school fight, just how it's very brutal, and it's like that early on in the show.
mhm.
I think that was before it got picked up by Netflix. Is that right?
Yes,
Yeah.
correct. Yeah.
So honestly, I mean, kind of at the time, YouTube Red wasn't that big and stuff, like compared to Netflix and all that. So it's almost like a hidden gem to find like a karate show where they fight and it's that brutal and stuff. So I think that's like that and the fights are cool. Guy breaks his back. There's blood everywhere. People watching it. Like I don't know. I think that's probably my favorite fight out of the whole show.
I'd say that's one of my two too, just because of how early on that was, and the whole like as the time we've been at Cobra Kai. It just that day was so fun, and that was one of the first days where it's like everyone was there again since the split of Cobra Kai and Miyagi-Do. So you get to see all your people, you get to see them, hug them, and then probably my second favorite fight, probably a little biased because we got to talk in that episode, is the final fight, the last fight that we've had. Just because that one was also so chaotic and brutal, and there was just so much going on, and it's always just so much fun. And it's just when every single person's beating up every single other person.
I will say I do like the season 10. My fight with Stingray.
Season
Oh,
Or
episode
not
10.
season 10, episode 10. My bad. I
I
do
do
like
that
that
too.
fight. It just kind of sucks that I always get my ass kicked. I'm sit there training for however many years, and then like one kick to the face, I'm out. So I mean, but that and the season 2 high school fight. That's great ways to end the seasons, I think.
Yeah, I kind of forgot that. I kind of I guess I wasn't really thinking about it, but I kind of misremembered. I thought maybe it was longer, but I think Stingray does get the first hit on you, and you're kind of
Mm-hmm.
out. They should have given you something. I mean, because that the vibe that you had, right? You're like, what does Daniel say? Like, hey, look, we're just here to grab our kids. You're like, well, come get them.
Yeah.
So Big Red is ready to throw down too. Like, how are you gonna let Stingray come in and ruin
And
that for
then
him?
just
Like,
one tap me essentially.
as
Yeah.
a Miyagi-Do, I love that because I think it just knocks him down a few pegs. Kind of takes him off
Okay.
his high horse.
All
yeah.
right. Okay.
What are some things that you like about what are some scenes that you like from a different dojo? Like like Shane, you're Miyagi-Do. What is some Cobra Kai scenes that you like, and Chris like some Miyagi-Do scenes that you like, or Eagle Fang even?
I'd say Eagle Fang. I love when they're just like in that warehouse, just training in the warehouse. I think that's such a funny thought. Just like the out of like I don't know, just because everything that Johnny does and how unorthodox it is, I think it's just so funny to see everyone else's reactions to
I
that.
was gonna say the rooftop scene.
Yeah,
where they're jumping off. That like, I mean, come on. No sane person have a bunch of kids doing that, but it's just so funny.
What are some of your guys' favorite Johnny moments? Whether he miss you know like the things that he says or does.
I think there's this one. He's in the high school, and he knocks it. I don't know if it made it in the show, but he's walking by and he knocks the kid's books down. And he's like, "I'm sorry, it's a bad habit," and he just keeps walking. But I think that's my funniest thing I've ever seen in person.
Just because
Yeah,
watching it.
that was Sean Thacker. Yeah, that
Yeah,
one
yeah,
made it. Yeah.
yeah.
Because that was one of his first moments, and then he ends up being an Eagle Fang member himself.
Mhm.
Um, Now, were you guys familiar with the Karate Kid movie before you guys got the role?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you guys have you guys seen like all three or two? You guys kind of what are you guys' memories of those movies?
I remember watching I think I watched there was like a week in middle school where me and my friends just kind of sat down and watched all those movies. And it was like seventh grade, the year like before I got onto the show.
Which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched a lot of movies, so it kind of like I sat there, I watched all three of them, and I was, this is really cool because it is like a very influential, movie. Kind of brought, I mean, maybe kind of same, but like Top Gun kind of brought things to like Navy and stuff, and like Air Force. I would say kind of Karate Kid brought like karate back and stuff, and martial arts. So I think they just left an impact, and then we're seeing that impact now. However many years later. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So having seen those movies previously, which of the legacy characters were you guys excited to kind of see return?
And I love Daniel LaRusso.
Daniel,
just because I love Ralph Macchio. I love Crossroads. It's one of my favorite movies. He was in that too. I love that movie so much. That's just, probably my favorite.
I think
You play the guitar?
Yeah. No, I don't
Okay.
play. I'm a drummer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think Silver, definitely. Because I don't know how he does it, but how this many years later he's still as menacing and as violent and as terrible as he was then. So I mean,
Right.
definitely seeing him back.
On the topic of legacy characters, Shane, you got to share some scenes with Yuji, who returns as chosen. What was it like working with Yuji?
Yuji, oh my God, he's just all of them. I don't know, all of them are incredible. You can just turn out. You can be having a conversation, and then like they get ready, and it's like just he turns his head, and then he's ready to go. They're just all so professional. They're definitely people to look up to and try and kind of
Emulate.
Yeah, emulate further in my career.
If you guys could choose, and try to disregard your guys' current dojo status and whatnot, which sensei would you like to train under?
Silver. I mean,
Okay.
I think that's what Cobra Kai needs: some violence, some crime.
I'm a true Miyagi, and I'm not even saying that because I'm biased. I just love Daniel, and that whole I'm all about peace. Wax on, wax off, all of that. He doesn't like that.
No, be there, right? No, be there. That's
yeah.
Yeah, Chris, I kind of agree with you. Like, I don't know if I would want to train under Silver, but I think Silver is actually a pretty good sensei. He's a pretty good sensei.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the way he trains. Kenny is just he turns. He turns someone getting bullied into the bully, and into a killer. I mean, he's just it makes him insane essentially, just because of how ruthless his training is. So.
Yeah, it's clearly it's effective. So whatever he teaches them, they're able to do it themselves. So we saw him work with Kenny in seasons 4 and 5. So as we get ready to wrap up, is there any other stories you guys could think of that you want to share from any of the seasons? Any uh, maybe pranks or funny takes that never made it? Because we love hearing that stuff.
I think Khalil dragging Aiden off that cop car.
Yeah.
I saw
Have you heard
that.
about that?
I
Yeah,
I think there's video.
there is
Yeah.
video that, yeah, and he just has a giant mark on his back, and it's the loudest thing ever. That stuff like that happens all the time. It's just so
That's
funny.
yeah. People just messing with each other. I mean, I'm sure you probably could find hundreds of videos of just random stuff happening because you gotta find a way to entertain yourself. While you wait for cameras to get set up and stuff. So.
Oh, and a lot of times, if there's a character off screen, they'll try and get people who are like, if they're just being a voice or a line for them, they're trying to get their friend to break on camera by just doing stuff. I remember Hawk did something funny. He was like, "We can settle this right now," and he like turning his head and he's slowly unzipping his pants. It's just stuff like that. It's just really funny.
And like the camera would be on like whoever he's talking to.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But then he'll
Yeah.
do that because he knows that they're not gonna use that take. Or
Mhm.
that's funny. What about I'm trying to think because I know we've seen like some bloopers, but not everything. But if that's all you guys kind of remember right now, but I did see a couple things you guys are kind of working on. Is there anything you guys are able to share that we can keep an eye on
Um,
coming up?
I don't think there's anything we can share. There are a
Yeah.
few projects. I'm trying to get him to do more like stuff that's more family friendly because you hear Big Red and then you hear he was in PP Guru and Squirt and you start to think what kind of actor is this guy? You know?
All right. I guess he has a point for me.
Yeah, so there's nothing you can share. Well, if you guys welcome the interaction, where can people find you guys on social media?
um,
Shane Donovan Lewis official. That's my
and
Instagram page, and I have an IMDb.
the Shane Donovan Lewis and Christopher Ryan Lewis official. And Christopher Ryan Lewis. You can look us up on Google and IMDb and stuff. We have Facebooks. We have Instagrams. So just follow us there and see what's happening.
Yeah, I know there's a few fake accounts that try to be you guys too out there. I think
Mhm.
I've even tagged like wrong accounts, trying to tag you guys and stuff too. So well, for me, if you guys don't follow me, I'm on Instagram at Cobra Kai Companion, Companion spelled with a K, and on Twitter at Cobra Kai Pod. So thank you guys for coming on the show. I really enjoyed hearing you guys' stories, and I hope for you guys to return to share more when we get more seasons of Cobra Kai.
Of
So
course.
thanks to everybody that tuned in, and we'll see you guys next time.